What is going on, guys? SageArtz here, and today we are back for Chainsaw Man chapter 118. But before we actually get into that, just a quick heads up, there won't be a Chainsaw Man chapter next week. I'm assuming because there's a break. But on the Shonen Jump app, it does say the next chapter will be in 14 days. So unless something changes within the time frame of the next 7 days, don't expect a chapter next week. And yeah, so chapter 118, let's just get straight into it. It was a very interesting chapter. It was definitely, I guess, not what I expected and what I expected at the same time. We did have that big cliffhanger and suspense being built up from chapter 117, where Asa, or I guess specifically Yoru is better to say, put her hand on Denji's head and attempted to turn him into a spinal cord sword, which obviously that's the foundation of her powers. If she believes she has ownership over someone, or she believes that she owns them, she can turn them into a weapon, be it human or object. But obviously this wouldn't work with Denji due to the fact he's a hybrid, or it's the fact that he doesn't actually love Asa. And it's kind of a tough situation that our characters are in by the start of chapter 118, because obviously this didn't work on Denji. They have no knowledge he's Chainsaw Man, even though he outright told them so. They don't believe him. So naturally, the only cause that Yoru's power wouldn't work here is because Denji doesn't have feelings for Asa, which is just like putting Asa in between a rock and a hard place. Like, okay, Yoru's powers didn't work here, which is good because she has feelings for Denji, but then also it didn't work because it means that Denji doesn't have feelings for her. So it's kind of messed up. It's kind of a pretty messy start to this chapter, but yeah, Yoru was putting a hand on Denji's head trying to turn him into a weapon, and Denji was reciprocating the energy, man. He was literally just trying to tap her back. You know, Denji's completely clueless, man. He doesn't understand what's going on. But yeah, after all that, I think it's safe to say Asa is feeling somewhat heartbroken because of the situation. And we also do learn some pretty interesting things about Fami and Yoru. So, of course, they did meet before on the 2 encounters where they met. The first time being during the Yuko situation. She initially introduced herself saying, okay, I'm the War Devil's sister, or anything for my little sister. And Asa was completely confused, and so was Yoru. Yoru didn't really seem to understand what was going on. And then the second time during the aquarium, she obviously teleported Yoru away or did whatever she did. But she was kind of aware of this because she was saying this is like bad news to Asa. But now we're getting a little bit more insight into why Yoru acted the way she did. As Yoru was preparing to go to bed, she was telling us that, yes, Famin's her big sister. And she mentioned it's been a long time since she's seen her, which is why she didn't recognize her. And I guess the biggest thing we can take away from this is the fact that she said that she's crazy, you should stay away from her. Now, I wonder what that entails, because Yoru's pretty crazy herself. So for her to be saying that Famin's crazy, it's not looking good, guys. It's not looking good. And honestly, given Fami's current actions within this series up to this point, I don't think anything's really struck me as crazy. It's more like, okay, I'm curious. I don't know what she's really doing. I don't really know her motive to a degree. Like, it's not clear exactly what her goal is. But nothing's really struck me as crazy the way Yoru struck me as crazy throughout this series so far. But I guess that's because we have the real perspective of Yoru, whereas Fami still needs to be explored a bit more. But she's crazy. So I guess that's something that all the horsemen have in common, because we have definitely had some crazy horsemen in the show so far. But while Yoru heads to sleep, we obviously see Asa just completely pissed off at the fact that Denji technically doesn't have feelings for her. She even goes as far as to say she hates him. Like, Asa's just, she's so unserious, man. Like, first she was in love, and then obviously, you know, typical stuff when it comes to heartbreak and just relationships and stuff. Obviously, he didn't feel the way, she automatically hates him. But naturally, this isn't to be taken too seriously, because as we continue with the chapter, she still obviously wants to go on a date with him. So she obviously can't hate him that much. And the best part of this chapter, or one of the best parts of this chapter, was for me, generally seeing how Denji's past experiences has stuck with him. Naturally, we do know that the whole culmination of part 1 is being shown through Denji in part 2. He's lost a lot. He's been through a lot. He was being manipulated by Makima, which we obviously see he doesn't want to be a victim to again. Like, he wants to think for himself. He wants to do stuff by himself. And he's taking care of Naruto. Denji has like a lot of plans, and he really he's trying to become his own person. But I found it very interesting that, like, obviously in 117 he was saying that he has experience with dates, which we know he kind of does. I wouldn't say they're the best experiences, because the movie date with Makima was all right. Actually, I'll say it's pretty decent. It wasn't the worst thing in the world. But then obviously he had one with Reze. So his plan for this second date with Asa is to go to the theaters and just go on a whole marathon watching movies the whole entire night. Which is just nice to see that Denji's using his past experiences, which were kind of positive, to help him in the future here. Which is just the idea from the date that him and Makima went on. Because it was actually a pretty good day. I'm not gonna lie, it was pretty good. Like, you know, the manipulation and the hindsight, it was a really good day when you really think about it. But the problem with this situation is that obviously Asa doesn't want to spend any money here. 2,000 yen here. Denji usually wants to be the guy saving money, but he's willing to spend here for this day. But Asa's the opposite. She wants to actually go to Denji's house, so they don't have to spend so much money going to the theater. And that obviously leads grounds for us to finally get Nayata in the series, because we know Denji's taking care of her. She's basically like his little sister. We don't know the actual situation of their home, but it's not looking good, because Asa is like pestering Denji, saying that, okay, if we can't do this, then we're not gonna have a date then, or we don't have to go on a date. But Denji just seems all up and about, completely stressed at the fact that they have to go to his house. And the reason is because they have strict family rules that we do not know of yet. So there's strict family rules in place around Denji's household. I wonder if he's like, it's hard to say because obviously we haven't seen anything yet. I wonder if he's like kind of blowing it out of proportion, like if it's like seriously being exaggerated. We don't know yet. But if that's the case, I'd be laughing. I'd definitely be laughing a bit. But Denji makes it seem like these rules are really, really serious, because he says if you break the rules, then you're gonna die, which is absolutely insane. And Asta's just looking at him like he's completely crazy. And we've got the Devil Hunter Club president just lurking around, eavesdropping, saying, did he say die? So he's just like really trying to get in on the situation, because we know he was interested in Asta last chapter due to her power. So it's clear that he's just stalking them and giving like extra attention to these two. But yeah, that was pretty much it for the chapter. I definitely want to say the most interesting part was the whole situation with the house rules. Now, personally, that's speculation, because obviously we don't know anything until the chapter drops. I think obviously it has something to do with Nayata, but given the fact that Denji wants to prevent her from turning out to be Makima 2.0, I wouldn't be surprised if, in general, Nayata's like kind of sheltered to a degree. I doubt she's like going out to normal school, even though he's like trying to save up for her to go to university and stuff, because she's very smart. I'm assuming she's already learned, she's doing like homeschool stuff. She's learning around the house. She's not really going out, etc. But her controlling nature that we'd expect of the control devil, I'm assuming Fujimoto is going to use it in a way that she's like controlling the household. She's not controlling in a very malicious way like Makima was, but she's controlling in the sense of like domestic things within the house. So she's like, okay, you have to keep it clean or this, and then she'll get angry. Do you get what I'm saying? That's like real childish stuff. I'm assuming that's the direction Fujimoto is going to go in for this. I don't think she's going to be controlling people and actually just like killing them. I think Denji's obviously exaggerating it, but I feel like it's just going to be like a childish, like playful little run or something like that if they were to break the rules within the house. That's what I think she's doing. I don't think she's full on control devil. Oh, you do this, do that, you mess with this, you mess with that, I'll kill you. I think it's just going to be like a childish thing here where obviously Denji isn't trying to let her grow up to be a bad person, but he's still respecting the fact that she is the control devil. She will have this nature within her to be controlling to a degree. So I think that's why he's saying that these rules are very serious, and obviously he's exaggerating the fact where he says you'll die if you don't follow them. But what do you guys think? What did you think of the chapter? I'd say it was a very good chapter. I enjoyed it. At least there wasn't like a crazy cliffhanger. I mean, this is kind of like suspenseful, kind of a cliffhanger, but it wasn't like a crazy cliffhanger like we've had in the past. But yeah, it was a pretty good chapter. If I have to rate it, because I low-key want to start rating chapters like now, because I do that with my episode breakdowns when I do that for other shows like Attack on Titan. But I low-key want to rate chapters a bit and see what you guys think. I give this chapter like an 8 out of 10. It was pretty interesting. I wanted to see more of Yoshida, but we didn't see him this chapter. But it was definitely an interesting chapter, and yeah, 8 out of 10. But let me know you guys' thoughts down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.